Good afternoon, everyone. We'll start the press gaggle in 30 seconds. We're going to start with the virtual attendees first. Okay, and the first question is...
Hey, Tom, let me just start by saying, obviously, news spilled out last week on a family issue and a litigation issue. I've issued a public statement on that. I don't intend to speak on that again. I'm not aware of any investigation other than the one that I was forced to go to the Essex County Prosecutor's Office on a harassment issue, and that's all I'm going to speak about. It's on topic, Tom, and we're keeping the questions on topic. If off topic, we're going to move to the next one.
Indeed. First question goes to Larry Higgs with New Jersey Advanced Media. Larry?
Thanks. Can you hear me?
Yes, Larry.
Great. First question, and I think you may have addressed this, but I'm not sure if I heard it. How many PATH unions are still without a contract, and what's the status of those negotiations?
Yeah, so Larry, 6 of the 11 PATH unions have now been ratified with the 2 today. 66% of the PATH employees are now under contract. We have 5 to go. We're hard at work. We met with our labor council in executive, and we have given very specific instruction. We want to have those remaining unions resolved.
Okay. The second question is regarding the life after Amazon at Newark Airport. What is the next step in the Newark Airport air cargo redevelopment process? Is it a matter of putting out a new RFP? Is it a matter of going to one of the other bidders? What's the next step there?
So we had a meeting in executive with our senior staff today. Larry went very, very well, explained some of the issues that we're confronted with. We're excited about the next step. You're going to hear about the next step very soon. We have a pretty exciting plan that's going to work with the community leaders and the community folks to make sure that they're comfortable with the plan that's going forward, but there is activity planned.
Thanks.
Next question, Tom. Thank you.
Thanks, Larry. Next question is Zach Griff with the Point Sky. Zach?
Hey, can everyone hear me?
Yes, Zach.
Great. Good to see everyone virtually. Question for you on LaGuardia. Have you seen any decreases in taxi times at the new terminal now that all the sky bridges and taxiways and all those things are open?
So when you say taxi times, you're talking about aircraft?
Aircraft, yep.
Well, the second sky bridge either is opening today or this week, so we don't have any experience with both sky bridges open. So I think that's the short answer to your question. The one thing that I will tell you, having been out there in the one of the ramp control rooms, is that the first ramp is now being utilized in a way that actually wasn't thought about, but is actually very helpful, which is it provides a second avenue for Delta planes, which are on the eastern side of the airport, to actually both come off of the main taxiway and get to the Delta gates, or again to leave the Delta gates and get to the taxiways. So the virtue of the sky bridges and the increase in taxiways is beginning to be felt, but it's very early days.
Great.
Well, we're looking forward to lots of more efficiencies. And speaking of those, question for you: what's the latest status on the AirTrain project and the new options? Where do we stand there?
We're working very hard to bring that to a conclusion. I have to say the team is meeting daily in terms of working on that, but I still am not in a position to give a date in terms of when it will be concluded.
Thank you.
Zach. Next question, Tom.
Okay, moving to questions in the room, and just a reminder to folks that we're only addressing on-topic podium questions from the podium. Colleen Wilson from the Record.
Hi, I just had a question about the Port Authority bus terminal item on the agenda. 2 questions, actually. One is what, if any, issues were observed with that concrete truss? Was there cracking? Anything like that you can kind of elaborate on why this is necessary, given where we are trying to, get a new bus terminal up and built. And also related to that, what is the update on the Port Authority bus terminal design? I think last I wrote, there was a draft environmental impact statement that was supposed to be sent to the feds. What's the status of that, and where's that project?
Well, let me try to take those in order. Obviously, the Port Authority operates many legacy facilities. To call the bus terminal a legacy facility is probably being charitable. Every single one of the Port Authority facilities is inspected in detail on an absolutely regular basis. And as the legacy facility gets gets older, those inspections become more frequent. The bus terminal in particular receives particular attention. So it is the engineering department of the Port Authority that carries those inspections out, and the results of those inspections are what guide the state of good repair funding. And there is a very significant fund measuring in the hundreds of millions of dollars that is unallocated but specifically reserved to be able to identify any additional state of good repair projects that need to be implemented. This one followed that pattern, which is regular inspections, detected concerns, and that is what put the project on the schedule. And this was the board approving the monies to carry it out. So the goal here is to identify as early as possible, any deterioration that is of any concern. I can't speak to exactly what this particular engineering report showed, but it was a normal process. It was a regularly scheduled inspection, and this is the project that resulted from it.
And with regard, Colleen, to the last part about any news, we had a really exciting update in executive, and we're hoping to have something, I guess we can't say it now, but something public, which is really exciting and going to set the stage for the next process with a new bus terminal very soon. Tom?
Next question, Skylar Woodhouse at Bloomberg.
Hello. I just wanted to ask about path ridership. I'm wondering if you're seeing any trends of possibly more riders on the weekends compared to weekdays, and if that's the case, what are you trying to do to really try and, I guess, get more riders back during the weekday?
Well, as I laid out in my report during the course of the public session, path right now overall is at between 50 and 55% of its pre-COVID ridership. The number for last week in particular was at 51%. We actually went and compared just to be sure that we were understanding where PATH stood versus other commuter railroads. In the most recent report that I have seen from the MTA, their Metro North Railroad is at 55%. So that's in our view, the basic underlying post-COVID recovery rate of commuter railroads. What we have looked at is trying to develop plans to attract more riders. I think that will be dependent on employer policies. You asked about the weekends. While the weekday ridership is at roughly 50%, the weekend ridership is between 80 and 90%. So that's simply reflecting new patterns of how people, the work from home phenomenon. And we will be looking very heavily at the ways we can attract more riders. What I would remind everybody of is that 3 years ago, PATH announced the PATH Improvement Program. A key portion of that was both a new signal system, the acquisition of 72 new cars, and a construction program to expand the platforms on the Newark to World Trade Center line to accommodate nine car trains. And we expect that to start to be put in force in the course of next year. And what that will do is, with an increase in capacity, we will be urging people to recognize that trains will not be crowded. There will be a 40% increase in capacity on that line during peak periods. And we are looking specifically at how we can add to that customer service improvements that will attract more riders back to PATH.
Next question.
Next question is Ry Rivard from Politico.
Hey, a question about the Harrison floodwall projects. You mentioned site challenges. I'm wondering if you could detail those a little bit. If you could talk a little bit about whether the flood modeling had been updated since 2018, and then a question about the comments that the chairman made at the beginning of the meeting.
Just a reminder, we're only taking on-topic questions at the podium, Chairman, if you want to address the first question. Or Executive Director.
Well, the question about the flood barrier, what's on the agenda, that is a project which was started previously. It's actually approaching its completion, but as it has proceeded, there have been site conditions, and the result is it's going to be somewhat more expensive to complete, and that's the reason for the reauthorization.
Next question.
Next question is Clayton Guz with Daily News. Excuse me, Guza.
A couple things. New Jersey hasn't had a rep on the Waterfront Commission for a couple months. Are you guys at all concerned about any potential proliferation of crime or corruption at the ports, absent a rep from New Jersey?
Listen, we're working closely with New York and New Jersey, and we're monitoring the situation. Certain things are out of our control, but our folks are in constant contact with the law enforcement both in New York and New Jersey.
What about the commission itself? Is it what's your understanding of its current operation?
Yeah, I would let the governors of both states answer that question.
Okay, and Kevin, just if you want to answer this question, you pointed out Rick's leadership, or you commended Rick's leadership earlier. Given everything that's going on publicly with you, how can you reassure the public?
That's off.
Last question is Sarah Wallace with NBC.
Mr. O'Toole, I think this is an on-topic question because you are the one who has raised the issue that you have been harassed and stalked. First question.
It's off. It's off topic.
Sorry, did you have any additional on-topic questions?
Thank you very much.
No other on-topic questions. That concludes the gaggle. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.